welcome back to my channel. Today's video is we're going to make some homemade snacks for my 2.5-year-old, nearly 3-year-old. So we're going to do some homemade sausage rolls, and also if we have some time and I can be in the mood, we're going to make some homemade crumpets, which I freeze and pop in the toaster when he wants some, which makes for a quick and easy snack. I'm also going to make the sausage rolls, make a fair bit so I can cook them and then also freeze them. And then when he wants some, just chuck them in the oven just to warm up as they'll already be cooked. And then we're probably going to go and make a sourdough starter because I want to learn to make my own sourdough bread, and also an all-purpose home cleaner that is low toxic. So if you want to watch us make all those today, stay tuned. So the first thing we're going to do is make some sausage rolls, but I am only using beef mince as I don't have any sausage mince. I've also got my light puff pastry here, which I'm going to thaw, and we're going to get the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to do an onion, some grated carrots, because it has some carrots chopped up. And I've got my beef mince here. I've got 1 kilo. And I think I have some zucchinis, which I'll do also. Yep, I have some zucchinis that I'm going to use up. So I just got you guys pointed down so you can see what I'm doing. So first thing, I'm going to add my mince to the bowl. So I've got our mincemeat in the bowl, and now I'm just going to chop 1 large onion.
I'm just going to dice it pretty finely.
Chuck all those scraps into the compost. This is the first time I'm making sausage or beef rolls, so I'm just making the recipe up as I go. So now we've got our onions diced here. We're going to add that into the bowl. Okay, so we've got our mincemeat and onions in there. Now I'm going to peel and grate, I think 2 carrots. We'll start with that. My bag, I'm just going to peel it in. Well, I missed half the bag there. Cut that bit off. I'm just going to grate it. So we have our carrots grated, so I've done 2. We're going to add that into the bowl. And then I think I'm only going to do 1 zucchini. They are quite big, so we'll peel that. Sorry if you can hear my son in the background, that's just the life of a mum. So we just make do. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just going to cut the ends off, and we're just going to grate 1 as well. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so we've got our 1 zucchini grated, so we're going to add that also to the bowl. Put that in the sink to wash. And we'll just wipe the bench down. I do want to try and make my own reusable paper towel as well. I Okay, so that's that. So in here we've got our 1 kilo of mincemeat, 1 large onion, 2 carrots and 1 zucchini. We're also going to add some white pepper. I just love cooking with white pepper, so we're going to add a good sprinkle of that. Some cracked sea salt. Not too much there. We've got some dried parsley, which is from our garden. Probably just a pinch or two. Some basil. I've been loving cooking with basil lately, especially in like bolognese and red sauces, so I thought, why not just a little bit of that? And a pinch of oregano, or oregano, however you pronounce it. Got to refill this jar soon. As you can tell by the size of the jar, this is my most used herb. I've got that. Now I'm going to go grab an egg as well. Crack that 1 egg in there. Little tip, if you have a garden, crush these up and put it into your plants. It helps feed your plant and give it more nutrients. And as it slowly decomposes, it slowly releases the nutrients of the shells. So it's really good for your garden. Alright, so I've got my egg in there as well. I'm just going to grab some gloves and we're going to give that a quick mix. I know a lot of people add tomato sauce or ketchup or barbecue sauce into their sausage rolls. I don't really have that on hand, but I do have some tomato paste or a red authentic tomato sauce, which just is tomatoes and basil. So I'm trying to decide which one I want to add to give a bit of that saucy and more moisture. I think I might do the tomato paste this time and see how it is. Simple, compromising for what I don't have, but we'll open this and add that into there as well. I'll probably start with half a tin first. Oops. Half a tin. And then if I feel like I want to add more, I can. But I'm just compromising with what I don't have. Alright, so I'm just going to give it all mixed together. I know some people also add breadcrumbs as well. I don't have any of that on hand, so we're just compromising. But like how little ones are going to know the difference that there's no breadcrumbs or there's tomato paste instead of ketchup in there. And we make do with what we have. But this is how it's looking. Not bad. I think I might add a bit more pepper. Oh, it's got a broken wheel. Oh, the 2 wheels broke in the shower. Oh no, how? Yep. Oh, okay. We'll fix it for you, okay? Oh, Daddy's cup broke too. Okay, we'll fix it for you. So I've got my mix all there. So I'm just going to wait for this to thaw a little bit longer and then we'll start constructing it. So while that puff pastry is still defrosting, we're going to tidy all this up and we'll probably start on making a sourdough starter. The reason I want to make a sourdough starter is I make probably 90% of the bread that we consume in our household, like pita pockets to buns to our bread to our loaves, all that type of stuff. But I've heard the sourdough actually has some good bacteria in it, which is good for your gut, but also with the discard that you take out when you feed your sourdough starter, you can make like crackers. People use it to make many other things, so I want to give that a shot, but obviously I can't because I don't have a sourdough starter. Sometimes sourdough starters can take a month or so to be active, so I want to start it today and I'll make some videos once it's ready of what we can use it for. But yeah, so I want to give that a shot, so I'm going to tidy all this up I'll just put the puff pastry mince over there. But we'll tidy it all up, and then I'll look for a recipe, because the one in the book that I have from Kmart, it has if you use wheat flour or rye flour. I don't have that. I mean, they have plain flour or self-raising flour or double O flour on hand. So I'm going to see if I can make one using any of those, and if I can, we'll make that. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't going to use the recipe in the Kmart book because I didn't have wholemeal flour, but I found a little bit, and it says you only need 125 grams of whole wheat flour or rye flour to start with. Then you feed it with white all-purpose unbleached flour. So I have heaps of that, so I'm going to start it with this. Oh wow, yeah. You can watch those. Sorry about that. So I'm going to start it with the wholemeal flour and then feed it with the unbleached flour. So I'm just going to make the starter and start feeding it, and do a bit of research tonight as well, like how long before you can start using it. From what I read, it's about a month or longer. Yeah, you got blueberries. Are they yummy? That's good. So I'm going to feed it for, I think it's about a month. But I'm going to do a bit more research into that. But I've got my ingredients. We're going to start. Okay, so we have our scales here. I'm going to put my jar onto it and turn it on. So it says you need 125 mils of filtered water. So I just have water from my filtered tap. So 126, pretty close. And then I'm just going to use 126 grams, so equal parts of this unbleached wholemeal flour from Coles. So I'm going to add that in. Okay, 126, perfect. So they're equal parts. And now I'm just going to move the scales, and we're just going to mix that. All the other ones I've watched, they are a bit more runnier consistency, but we'll go with it and see how it goes, because it is a thicker consistency. But it says equal parts, and that's what I've done, but we'll see. Just use enough fork to make sure I've gotten all that flour and water mixed together. If you've made a sourdough starter before and it's worked, because this is like my second time trying it, and it's worked, please comment down below how you did it, in case this doesn't work. Yeah, baby. So it says put a lid on loosely, so I'm just gonna like pop the lid on. And to mark where you're at, so I've just got a lacquer band that I keep from my asparaguses. And I'm gonna put that on the jar and put it in line to where it's at. So about there. And I'm gonna rest it on my bench in a warm place till tomorrow, till I have to feed. So it says sit at room temperature for 24 to 48 hours until bubbles start to form. Then discard all but half a cup and then feed it with 60 grams of all-purpose flour, unbleached or organic, and 60 grams of filtered water. Mix it and keep repeating. So like I said before, I'm going to do a bit of research onto that, but that is the start, hopefully, of a successful sourdough starter. Back to our sausage rolls, just line some 2 baking trays with some parchment paper. We've got our puff pastry here that should be pretty thawed. Got my 6 sheets of puff pastry here. Just gonna cut them about in half. I'm also gonna crack 1 egg into a bowl and scramble it just to do a bit of an egg wash on those. So let me get that. Okay. So I've cut those. Now we've got our mince. And we're just gonna put them in the center. Sorry about my son in the background. But we'll just place it in the center like this. Well, I am gonna egg wash the sides as well to make them stick better. Let's drop that on the floor. Alright, so we've egg washed it. Now let's just peel it from the side and just kind of like push it in. And we'll use this blue paper to kind of help us roll and tuck. Make sure your bench is clean also before you do this, as you're going to kind of unroll it onto the bench. Right, that's for the bin. And then you're just going to want to pinch the seams closed. And I'm just going to push it down just to make sure I get it all the way to the edges and make it kind of even. Alright, then I've got my baking tray here. I'm going to put it onto the tray. Cut them probably each one into about thirds, because my son won't eat all 3, like this one whole one at once. So we're going to cut it into thirds, just like that, and separate them a bit more. And then I'm going to add more of the egg wash and a few sesame seeds. Probably don't want to put my hand in the jar. Just a few on top, just to garnish it. This is optional, you don't have to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the rest of them. So that's just how they look. Probably could have cut the thirds in better portions, but that's fine. So we'll go ahead and do the rest and fill the tray up, and then we're going to preheat our oven to 180 Celsius fan force. So that one's much better. Yep, Mummy's coming right now, honey. Much better portion. The meat's come all to the end. So I'm going to do the same thing. Egg wash it, place it onto the tray. Also pinch these seams closed. Perfect. I decided to cut the one log into fifths just to make them more toddler friendly size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the one strip there. So I'm going to do one more, fill this tray up, egg wash it, sesame seed it, and bake it in the oven. Whoops. Alright, that's those. We're going to bake them now in the oven at... Okay, I'm baking them now for... Yep. So I'm going to bake these in the oven at 180 Celsius. And I'll let you know how long I end up baking them for. So we've done the last lot. I'm just going to egg wash these. My lounge room is right in front of us. That's why you can hear my son so loudly. Please excuse that. But that is just mum life. Okay. So this is my second full tray. I ended up freezing the other half of the mixture. That way I can make some fresh. If I want, once I run out of these, I just won't have a big enough container for the freezer to freeze any more than the 2 trays. But that's fine, it will still get used. Yeah, sausage rolls, honey, not pizza, sausage rolls. Okay, so we're going to bake these as well in the oven. I'll be back shortly. So while the sausage rolls are in the oven, I have my favourite book from Simply Living Well. I'll tag that in the description down below. I'll put a link to it. But from this book, I'm going to make the citrus all-purpose cleaner on page 74. If you like making your own homemade cleaning products or household products or stuff like that, this is definitely a book that I would recommend getting. So that's this one. So yeah, I'm going to make this one the citrus all-purpose cleaner. So for this, you'll just need citrus peel and apple cider vinegar or distilled white vinegar. I have apple cider vinegar that I'm going to use. So I'm going to get some oranges from the fridge, peel the skin off those, and I'll use the oranges to make a smoothie later. So I'm going to go get those and we'll start on that. So I've got my 3 oranges, my apple cider vinegar, a jar to put it in. I'm just going to put you down a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So firstly, I'm going to add in 3 cups of the vinegar here. Just got a bit of stuff in that. Okay, so we're just going to fill the 3 cups up. And I use this for all my cleaning, my benches, everything like that. The last lot I made all fluffy from being in my pantry. That needs to be cleaned. Okay. So that's my 3 cups of apple cider. Then we're going to cut the ends off. It's a heavy strawberry. And chuck that into the jar. Oh, heavy blackberry. Wow. So what you do once you've done this, I'm going to eat those. Once you've put your vinegar or apple cider vinegar into this jar, you wanted to put it in a sunny place for 2 weeks so it can ferment. I normally do mine for about a month, as I feel like the longer I leave it, the more citrus smell it gets and the less vinegar the smell is. But once you've done and you've let it fermented, you're going to add 1 part of your mixture strained into a bottle. I use glass amber spray bottles to 1 part water, and you would use it use it as you would use any normal commercial all-purpose cleaner. But it's that simple. You can also add in like other citrus fruits pills like lemons, limes, grapefruits. Sometimes I just, like, for example, tomorrow, let's say I was to use lemon, I'd cut the rind off and add it in there also. You don't have to all add it in like now, but you would want to add in at least 2 cups worth of pill in there now. Yep, one more in that jar should be full. So yeah, you would just tip it out, strain it after the 2 weeks. Again, like I said, I like to leave it for a month. Strain it, add it into your bottle, 1 part this, 1 part water into your spray bottle. So if you have a litre spray bottle, you do 500 mils of this, 500 mils of water. If you have a 500 mils, 250 mils of this, 250 mils of water. Let me just turn my timer off my oven. That's just a sausage roll timer. So I'm putting it on for 20 minutes to start with, but we need more. But that's it. We'll close it. So I've done that. I've closed the lid. Just going to give it a quick shake. And I'm going to put this in a sunny spot for a month. And then once you've strained it, you can store it in your pantry. But I'm putting it in a sunny spot for a month, then strain it and do the 1 part this, apple cider vinegar, 1 part water, and use it as any commercial all-purpose cleaner. Again, I've only done it with normal white distilled vinegar. I don't have any of that today, so this is an experiment to see if I prefer the apple cider vinegar or the white vinegar. But I clean my benches, my stoves, my bathrooms with it. The first time I made it, I did do it for the 2 weeks, and I found the vinegar smell too strong for me. I feel like it's overpowering. You can also add essential oils in your bottle as well before you use it. So when you do the 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, you can add in a few drops of whatever essential oil you like. I don't do that. I just do it like this because I like to leave it for a month, and I feel like the vinegar smell is diluted and the citrus smell comes out. But that's it. So that's all for this. Okay, well, we've finished baking all our sausage rolls. A few of them went a bit crispy, but that's all right. So I baked them at, originally I was going to do 180, but I went to do them at 200 for around 25 minutes. I'm going to freeze them, and then when my son wants some, I'm going to take them out and just warm them up in the oven. It makes it quicker. I don't have to worry about if they're properly cooked, because they're completely cooked. I just got to warm them up. But that's them. I've just checked my freezer. I have plenty of waffles left, so we're not going to make those today, but I'll sure film when I do make the next batch. They're so quick and easy, and the best breakfast or snack thing to have in your freezer, because all you have to do is, well, you make them, pop them in the freezer and chuck them in the toaster for about a minute or so, and they warm up perfectly with some honey on top, some fruit. The perfect snack for a toddler. I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching and following our journey. My goal as a mother is to be able to cook as much as possible from scratch, homemade, for my son, and also make as much cleaning products to lower the amount of chemicals we have in our home. Now I'm going to go enjoy one of these delicious sausage rolls and make myself a coffee and enjoy the rest of my afternoon before I have to get dinner ready. Thanks for watching.